Guys, my name is Ankit from Molbiolect. Today I am going to teach you about the TCA cycle, the step 3 and step 4 of TCA cycle series. And this is my glycobiology series where I will be talking about the metabolism part first. And this metabolism is basically an exam helper series where I am going to teach you like whatever that may come in your exam, be it BSc, be it MSc or whatever. This is basically an exam helper guide. So basically, if you like this video, then please subscribe to this channel and also just subscribe because it gives me motivation. So before starting this video, please subscribe to this channel and then start watching this video overall. So let's start. So over here I'm going to talk about reaction number 3 first. The reaction number 3 is basically the conversion of isocitrate to alpha ketoglutarate, and in that process CO2 is given out. So the enzyme needed for this step is basically isocitrate dehydrogenase, and it's a manganese active enzyme. Okay, it's very commonly asked in exam what's an active manganese enzyme. So basically isocitrate dehydrogenase is an active manganese enzyme. It requires manganese ions in its active site and it interacts with the carbonyl group of the intermediate. That the intermediate is basically oxalosuccinate, which is formed transiently and does not leave the active site because of the manganese ion, and its decarboxylation is favored such that the oxalosuccinate is converted to the alpha Kg. So isocitrate dehydrogenase is found in two forms inside cell. The one which requires NAD plus and NADP plus, one requires NAD plus to convert into NADH, and the other requires NADP plus, which is converted to NADPH. And as you know, NAD is for the catabolic process and NADP for the anabolic process. The overall reactions are very much identical. In eukaryotic cells, NAD dependent enzymes are found in mitochondrial matrix. So these steps essentially happens in the mitomatrix, and also the NADP dependent enzymes are found in mitochondrial matrix and cytosol, and they help in regeneration of NADPH for the reductive anaerobic reactions as I am talking about. So how this step happens? So we have alpha ketoglutarate, which is CH2CO minus, CH2CO minus, CH2 C double bond O, CO minus. So this was our alpha ketoglutarate, and this alpha ketoglutarate will now be converted. I was just doing it wrong. We have this alpha ketoglutarate, and in our last reaction we had isocitrate, not alpha ketoglutarate. I was talking about the next step, unfortunately, step 4, but no. So we need to form alpha ketoglutarate. So this is the structure. I have already drawn it by mistake. So isocitrate, now the structure of isocitrate was like this: CH2CO minus, CH2CO minus, then we have another CH2CO minus, then we have CCO minus, over here we have an OH, and lastly an H over here. So the conversion is going this way. So in this step the CO2 is given out, and this is a non-reversible step. So NAD plus is required, and we get out NADH plus H plus. So this is the reaction, basically what's happening in that reaction. But this reaction is very much easy if you think, but it has got a complex mechanism underlying to it. The reaction is like this. So first we had the isocitrate. The formula for this was this. If we break down the formula very properly, this is OH, okay, and next we have H. So this was our isocitrate, and this isocitrate is converted first into an intermediate. I was talking about oxalosuccinate, okay. So in this step only the NAD plus is utilized, or in some cases NADP plus is also utilized. It depends on the reaction. And we have got, in this case, NADH plus H plus. Now this essentially does this: CH2, no change over here, C double bond O minus, there will be some bond rearrangement over here, and these negative charges are held stabilized in the active site by the manganese ion. So this is known as the oxalosuccinate manganese complex. Okay, and this complex, then there are some bond rearrangement happening because of this minus charge. Okay, so it's over here, so over here it will go. I hope I am not doing anything wrong or stupid, right? Oh sorry, I have missed one thing. Here will be the O minus, here will be the double bond O. Okay, now it's okay. So over here it will attack and the resulting will be on this side. So the next step we'll have over here the CO2 removal. So we will have this thing now, COO minus, CH2, CH, here will be a double bond, O minus, C double bond O, and O minus again in the manganese center, active center. And in the next step what happens is that proton will be liberated. Okay, so attack over here, resulting will be, so to remove this now, the resulting will be like this, CO minus, CH2, CH2, C double bond O, CO minus. So this was our alpha ketoglutarate. So this is how the whole mechanism of reaction takes place in the enzyme active center cleft to give you alpha ketoglutarate. So don't have to go to through the exact mechanism, it's not required anywhere. Just remember that NADH and NAD plus is removed in this step only, and then in the next subsequent step the oxalosuccinate manganese complex is formed, and there is some bond rearrangement happening over here, and after this bond rearrangement over here we are getting another bond rearrangement over here, and this bond rearrangement actually helps in the removal of CO2. And after this bond rearrangement what we get is that an intermediate which then finally goes to something known as KTE or ketoenol tautomerism, and this ketoenol tautomerism gives you alpha ketoglutarate. So this is how it works. Now we'll talk about the step 4. So in reaction number 4, this alpha ketoglutarate I was talking about, CO minus, CH2, actually you can write it like this also, CH2 whole 2, and then again there will be a C, CO minus, double bond O. So I just wrote it like this, you can write it according to your own thing, like I can also write this like this, CO minus, CH2 whole 2, C double bond O, CO minus, makes no difference, okay, just my choice of writing. So this will be converted to the next thing, that is succinyl CoA in the step 4, and while doing this we again need a coenzyme A. So this coenzyme A is getting incorporated. In this step we also need an NAD plus, which gets converted to NADH and H plus, and all this NADH and H plus in glycolysis as well as in TCA cycle is going for the ETC, electron transport chain. So essentially this happens, the del G value for the first for the previous reaction is actually not that much important, but for this reaction it is in the negative side, and it's negative at del G0 dash is equal to minus 35.5 kilojoule per mole. Okay, and the product formed is basically succinyl CoA, which is CH2 CO minus. This thing remains constant throughout, CH2 CO minus, except for some steps that we will going to come, CH2 CSCOA. Okay, now SCO is over there, so C double bond O. Oh god, just public transport things, don't worry, it's lockdown going on because of COVID-19 and people are here honking their cars and going around and spreading disease. I am frustrated, yes I am frustrated. So this is succinyl CoA, CH2CO minus, CH2C SCOA, C double bond O. So this is what it forms. So the energy of oxidation of alpha-ketoglutarate is conserved in the formation of thioester bond of succinyl-CoA, and this reaction is similar to the reaction sequence responsible for breakdown of branch chain amino acid like the alpha-keto acid of the isoleucine amino acid. It gets converted to essentially alpha-methyl butyryl-CoA. Okay. Pyruvate dehydrogenase complex and the alpha-ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, which is actually working over here, alpha-ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, alpha KGDH, is basically same, essentially the same. Okay, so this, by the way, I have told you about the enzyme in step 3. It was isocitrate dehydrogenase. In either ways, so this alpha-ketoglutarate dehydrogenase basically works same, because both of them have got E1, E2 and E3, same as the PDH complex. Although they have a common evolutionary ancestor, the proteins, the enzymes, they have a common evolutionary ancestor, but they have different amino acid sequences in the E1, and thus different binding specificities. For example, that was binding good with pyruvate, but this alpha-ketoglutarate dehydrogenase cannot bind with pyruvate. But the enzymes are mostly similar, hence it's an example of something known as divergent evolution. So more later on the evolutionary topics. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and also like, comment and share this with your friends and others who dearly need this kind of lectures to help them prepare for exams. And also, if I'm able to help you some way or the other, please subscribe, because it gives me more motivation to make more good videos. Okay, also it's a lockdown going on, please don't go outside like people are doing already. You can at least hear 5 or 6 bike sounds when I am recording this video, and I don't have a recording room particularly, so whatever I do is basically in my living room and another bike. So yeah, happy lockdown and stay at home. See, another bike, I am getting frustrated. Bye, thank you, please subscribe to my channel.